We really want to show you that a lot of credible people believe in these products and also in this company as a whole. My name is Latoya Silman. I'm a Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And before I introduce the lovely women that are on our panel tonight, I want to just tell you a little bit about my story. So I found out about Plexus just out of desperation. In December of 2013, I was a news reporter in Dallas, and I was on a morning show, which meant that I got up literally at 2:30 every single morning. Sometimes I worked 10, 12-hour days. Needless to say, I was sleepy and tired all the time. I just really lacked energy. But on top of that, I also had an issue with my immune system because I was constantly in the elements. If there was a flood, if there was a tornado, I was just always outside, and consequently, I got sick because of it quite often. The last straw was in December of 2013 when I contracted swine flu. Now, at that time, Dallas was having a huge outbreak of that. About 30-something people actually passed away because of it. And it was just probably one of the worst things I've ever felt in my life. So I was the sickest I had ever been. I was out of work for 2 weeks, went back to work and told a friend of mine about, how I just couldn't get well. And she suggested that I get a health coach. I have to be honest, at first I was like, no way. I already had a personal trainer and I was running half marathons. So I thought, hey, if I'm not healthy with all of that, what could this person possibly do? But she kept telling me, what do you have to lose? And she was right. I had nothing to lose. So I got the health coach, and the first thing that she did was put me on Plexus Slim. And I didn't really think too much of it. I said, okay, I'll take this. She was going to help me with my immune system. She said I would maybe get some more energy. And I said, okay. About a week and a half into it, you guys, I completely was sleeping well. I wasn't taking the naps that I was taking all the time, and I just had energy. I was getting through my workouts better. And I was like, what is this mess? So I did some more research, as a nosy reporter would, and I found out that Slim was actually created for diabetics. Half of my family is diabetic. I'm not kidding. And so I thought, oh my gosh, there's something to this. I contacted my grandmother and put her on it, and she just thrived on it. Prior to Plexus, my grandmother was in and out of the hospital literally every other month. She could not control her sugar, you guys. When she got on Plexus, not only did she start to control her blood sugar, but she just started to feel more energy. She started sleeping better as well. And 2 years later, she has not been to the hospital once, and she has lost more than 60 pounds. I myself have lost weight, but I'm more proud of what she's been able to do. I have other family members that got off prescription medications for pain, for arthritis. My mom is on a gut health medication, and she was able to get off of that. So a lot of wonderful things started happening, and I started talking to my health coach, like, what is this thing that's just changing my life and changing so many others? And I kind of fell into the business side of it, if you will, because I realized this was an amazing opportunity, not just because the products worked and I believed in them, but because our compensation plan is second to none. So I kind of just went all in. But to go all in, I had to make some really, really tough choices. Number one, as I mentioned, I was a news reporter for a major network here in town. I worked for the network, and that was a no-go. They owned my image, so there was only so much that I could do. I couldn't really promote Plexus the way I wanted to, and this was becoming my passion. And it's kind of one of those things, you can't unknow what you know. And so since I knew this great news, I had to share it with everyone. So I made the very tough decision to walk away from my 14-year award-winning journalism career, and I left my job that was up until Plexus, my dream job. I left that in July 1st of last year. And I've just been moving full speed ahead, and every time someone sends me a private message or texts me talking about how much their life has changed, I thank God for that moment when I got over myself and got that health coach. So it has really just not only helped me, but some of the people that I care about the most. I want to introduce this awesome health coach that I've been talking about. Her name is Kim Wilson-Pollock. She's an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and she literally changed my life. I owe her a ton. So she has some great information to share with you guys tonight. We also have some other very esteemed panelists here as well. So Kim, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm so excited to be here. Toy, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I am so blessed that God brought us together. I am going to tell you a little bit about my Plexus journey. I started Plexus 2 years ago because I was grieving. I had just lost 3 family members within 3 weeks of each other during Christmas time, and this was 2 years after losing my mom to ovarian cancer. I was devastated. I felt tired, exhausted, sad, depressed, and really unmotivated. As a holistic health coach, I knew what to do. I knew that eating dark leafy green vegetables would give me energy. I knew that getting outside and exercising would improve my mood. But all I wanted to do was sit on the couch and shove my face with sugar. It was around that time that a friend introduced me to Plexus. I scoured over the ingredients and decided to put my skepticism aside, and I ordered the pink drink, the ProBio 5, the Bio Cleanse, and the Accelerator. Within a week of being on these products, my old self returned. I felt happy and positive and motivated and energized, and I felt like I could start my life again. Now, I have stayed on these products for 2 years because of some really big changes. So it can be best summed up in one word: freedom. I now have the freedom to do what I want when I want. I have the freedom to pursue my biggest dreams without having to worry about paying the bills. 2 years ago, I fell in love with these products and with this business opportunity, helping people achieve optimal health, helping moms stay at home with their kids, and helping dads spend more time with their families. It's pretty life-changing. So let's talk about some of my favorite Plexus products. You know, it's interesting when you look at the health of Americans today, it's not good. We are in an obesity epidemic. Disease is on the rise. Inflammation is everywhere. And so when someone comes to me with an issue, perhaps they want to lose weight, perhaps they want to gain energy, they always ask, okay, what do I do? And I always say we've got to de-stress the body. And people are like, okay, that sounds great. How do we do that? So de-stressing the body can be done in 3 ways. Stabilize your blood sugar, improve your gut health, and both of those things will reduce inflammation. And you guys have probably heard that inflammation is the cause of so many chronic diseases in this country. So maybe you've heard of insulin. It is the master hormone in charge of everything. When insulin is happy, your body is happy. So we've got to make insulin happy. How do we do that? We balance our blood sugar, right? Have you ever had that feeling suddenly, feeling impatient or frustrated or just really grumpy or irritable? That's your blood sugar. And those ups and downs in our blood sugar are what cause us to feel so terrible. But there's also something that's happening on the inside. When our blood sugar is all over the place, that is triggering chronic stress inside the body. Inflammation that you cannot see because your blood sugar is here, there, and everywhere. So in order to stabilize that blood sugar, we need to stay away from the foods and the beverages that spike our blood sugar. So staying away from coffee because caffeine increases blood sugar. Staying away from white flour products, which cause that blood sugar to go up. And in addition to changing your diet, I recommend the pink drink. This is my favorite Plexus product. It's really easy to integrate into your busy lifestyle. You just pour the powder into some water, you shake it, and you drink it. And for me, I love it because it's very sweet. And I used to be a sugar addict. I used to be a chronic dieter. So having a drink that tastes sweet and balances my blood sugar makes me a pretty happy girl because I can kill two birds with one stone. I am happy to say that I am no longer a sugar addict because of the Plexus pink drink. Now, it's important to know that this product is all natural. I am a supplement snob, being a holistic health coach, and I don't want any artificial sweeteners or any caffeine in my body. So I love that our products are plant-based and gluten-free. And my favorite ingredients in the pink drink are chromium, which is a mineral that helps stabilize that blood sugar, that decreases the stress in our body. Alpha lipoic acid, which is a powerful antioxidant which reduces inflammation. It's sweetened with stevia. It has non-GMO beetroot extract to make it pink. So the Plexus pink drink definitely has changed my life for the better. But we need to take it a step further. So in order to decrease that stress in our body, we have to balance our blood sugar, but we also have to improve our gut health. And we do that by using a powerful probiotic. The Plexus Probio 5 is my gut health superhero. Literally, I have never used another probiotic, and I've tried them all, that has caused such a huge difference in my health. One that I can actually feel when I'm off of it, because I have run out of product before, and it has been painful. So I've learned my lesson, and I have a stash in my cabinet. But the wonderful thing about our Probio 5 that's very different from other probiotics on the marketplace is that it contains an enzyme that eats away at the candida and the bacteria and the fungus that will inhabit our guts and make us hangry. It will make us crave sugar, refined foods, alcohol, caffeine, all the substances that really detract from our health. And I love the Probio 5 because it really gets rid of the toxins that are hanging out in our fat cells. So toxins love to hang out in our fat. That's why fat is so difficult to lose. And so once we start using the Probio 5, or once I started using the Probio 5, I saw that the toxins were much easier eliminated. I added in the Bio Cleanse, which I like to call the garbage collector. So once the Probio 5 is done pulling out those toxins, the Bio Cleanse actually collects all that gunk and removes it from our body. Yes, I'm talking poop, people. It's so important to have amazing bowel movements every day to get rid of those toxins that are stored in our adipose tissue that are keeping us from feeling great. Toxins in our gut are keeping Americans from feeling vibrant and energetic, right? It's causing stress to our body. When our gut is unhealthy, inflammation resides inside of us, and we all know how bad inflammation is. So I always recommend that my clients start with the pink drink, the Probio 5, and the Bio Cleanse. It's an amazing system that stabilizes blood sugar, that improves our gut health, and that decreases inflammation and decreases stress on the body. And when your body is no longer stressed, then all of a sudden your symptoms start to disappear. There's one more product that I want to talk about before I pass it over to the next health expert, and that is the X Factor. One thing that I have noticed amongst Americans especially is that they're nutrient deprived, and that's based upon our poor diet and the fact that the way food is manufactured these days is much different than years and years and years ago. Unfortunately, most of the food that we're consuming has traveled a very, very far distance, and the nutrients have been depleted. So although I love diet and nutrition, and I recommend eating real food food that your grandmother would recognize that doesn't come out of a package or box. I recommend food as the #1 way to get nutrients in our stressed out society where we're running around overscheduled. And let me tell you, being stressed depletes our nutrients. In addition to eating poorly, we've got to have a backup plan. And X Factor is exactly that. X Factor is the Plexus multivitamin. And there are 2 big reasons why I love this product. First of all, it has aloe in it, which is a total superfood. P.S. When I was in nutrition school, I used to buy organic aloe leaves from California. They were like this big. And I would fillet them and put the aloe in my smoothie. So this is so much easier and makes a lot less of a mess. So it has aloe in there, which increases the absorption of vitamins and minerals. Y'all, you are only as good as what you absorb. So if your gut health is not in check, you're not going to be able to absorb nutrients. So definitely start with the triplex and then add in the X Factor to get those vitamins and minerals that most Americans are missing. And X Factor has vitamin D. So many people are vitamin D deficient, and there have been hundreds of studies on the importance of vitamin D, especially if you're living in a colder climate where there's not a lot of sun. It's so important to increase the amount of vitamin D that you take because vitamin D helps with your immune system. Anytime I feel like at any moment I might get a cold, I increase my vitamin D. Vitamin D increases our immune system, it improves our immune system, and I hardly ever get sick. So my favorite products, the Pink Drink, the ProBio 5, the BioCleanse, and the X Factor. These are 4 great products to get you started, get you energized, and will help you de-stress your body. Okay, so I am super excited to introduce you to our next health professional, Dr. Jennifer Rice. She is a nurse practitioner out of South Carolina. You are going to love her accent. Take it away, Jennifer.
Okay, that makes me nervous. Now I'm nervous for everyone to hear this Southern accent, but thank you, Kim. I'm very excited to follow up after you because actually I just want to say, as a medical professional, you know, the fact that I have a doctorate in nursing, I've been in nursing for years. Honestly, I was taught different than a holistic health coach. As a medical professional, as a nurse practitioner who prescribes medications to patients, I was actually taught more of the pharmaceutical side. You know, I was trained, you know, for years of how medications reacted on certain body parts, and you know, this particular medicine inhibits this enzyme in the kidneys, and this is good for blood pressure, and this is good for diabetes, and this is good for depression. And when I would hear, honestly, I mean, when I would hear people like Kim talk about, you know, a holistic approach to medication, and I guess more like the Eastern way of thinking with medication, I thought it was a hoax. You know, I thought that my years of training in pharmacology and, you know, physiology and all these different courses that I've spent hours and years of training, I thought that that gave me all the answers. And that's where our health system basically is messed up, in my personal opinion, and many people who are, you know, seeing a different way of life. We are trained to prescribe medications. We're not trained to get to the root cause of disease, and that's where Plexus has absolutely helped me, because even as a medical professional, I was having health issues. Even as a young person, I was having health issues. Basically, I guess I'll go back to a few years ago. I started with incredible fatigue. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'd come home and need a nap. I mean, I go out and see patients, I do home visits, and in between patients, I would actually pull over, fall asleep, and take a nap. That could be a 5-minute nap, that could have been a 10-minute nap, and I would actually go to sleep. Like, I knew that I had some type of sleeping disorder. So I saw several different specialists. one of which was a sleep specialist. I had an overnight sleep study, didn't work, stayed awake all night long even though I had slept, did not get good quality sleep. The next day I stayed at the sleep center. If any of you have had sleep studies before, you understand what this is for. It was basically being tested for narcolepsy. You're required to take 5 naps, or you're given an opportunity to take 5 naps during an 8-hour period. I actually fell asleep and took 5 naps in an 8-hour period. And each time the technologist came in the room, he asked me if I thought that I had fallen asleep, and I said no, I didn't feel like I'd fallen asleep, but I had fallen asleep 5 times in one single day after sleeping all night. So, not fatigue. So after all these different testing and all these copays and basically poor productivity at work, I would get my work done, but it would take me longer, obviously, if I'm falling asleep and taking naps. It was a poor quality of life at home. I'm a single mother. I would come home. I'd be too exhausted, basically, to cook a healthy, nutritious meal that I know as a nurse practitioner who studied nutrition before. I knew what was best for my kids and for myself, that I needed to exercise, I needed to do those things, but I was exhausted, mentally, physically. Suffered from depression, anxiety, of course. If you're exhausted all the time, you feel bad, you feel nervous, you feel anxious. I also had an increased heart rate, just at brushing my teeth, doing much of anything, my heart would accelerate to the point like a marathon runner would be. Tried over the course of 2 years. These are some of the medications, just some of the medications that I was prescribed and tried over the counter. So this is what I thought was the answer to my problems, were prescriptions. One of the medications, the side effect for me, I'm pretty sensitive to medications, is I kept thinking about stepping out in front of a bus. So obviously, there's not always a good answer with some of these medications. And so I saw a friend post about Plexus, and I, with my doctoral degree and nursing experience and background, thought that it was a complete hoax. I saw videos, like Kim would post on YouTube, and just did not think that Plexus would work for me. But, like Toy said earlier, that word desperate, I was desperate for a change. So I decided to give Plexus a try. And after looking up the ingredients, I figured, well, they're not going to help me, but I also noticed that they were ingredients that were not going to hurt me. So I actually started on the triplex combo, the same combo that Kim was telling you about. And it took me a while because I felt bad already, but I didn't expect a quick fix because I knew that my body was messed up for years, and I knew that it wasn't going to take just a month for me to have a complete turnaround in my health. But within about 3 weeks, I knew that something was different. I wasn't falling asleep while I was sitting and talking to people, because that was one of the things that I would do. If I sat down long enough, I'd fall asleep. And I even was reading back on one of my posts from Facebook a year ago in January, which is always usually a pretty hard time for me, as I actually fell asleep while I was getting my eyebrows waxed. So you tell me if I was exhausted, but I was not doing that once I started this triplex combo. Over a course of a few months, I noticed that I was actually sleeping better. I noticed that my depression and my anxiety were actually decreased. I started tracking my heart rate, and my heart rate actually went down by an average of about 20 beats a minute, which is a lot for an average daily rate. So whereas my heart rate would be a little over 100 in a 24-hour period, which it should really be below 90, my heart rate now is normal, which is in the 80s, okay, which is amazing. I have time now to actually play with my children, whereas before I would, after coming home from work, if I could catch a little 5-minute nap before trying to scrounge something up together for dinner or going out to get pizza because I was too exhausted, now I can actually cook dinner for my children. I can go outside with them and play with them. I'm more present for my kids. I'm much more productive at work. I'm having shorter work days. I can get through seeing my patients earlier because I don't have to pull over to the side of the road. Well, not the side of the road. I at least go to a gas station. How safe was that for a woman to sleep in her car? But I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not putting my health at risk. I'm not neglecting my children. They are very happy that I have started using Plexus. We're out, and someone could like yawn or mention how tired they are, and they'll say, "You need to talk to mommy about Plexus." So they always say what you believe a kid and what a drunk person, whatever they say. And if my children are telling people out in public the difference that they've noticed with me taking Plexus, you should absolutely give it a try. And I guess I'll say once again, I was a skeptic, just like probably most of the people on this call at one point in time, who would think that these supplements would make any difference. And I was much more of a skeptic as a healthcare professional because I was trained so differently. Prescriptions fix things in my brain, in my training. That's how I was taught. Basically, patient satisfaction scores a lot of times are based on the prescriptions that you write. If you write a prescription that is affordable for people, if you write a prescription, basically if they want something and you don't prescribe it, your patient satisfaction scores can actually go down. And no one wants to be docked, as a healthcare provider. I actually interviewed at a location, and they told me that patients will not be satisfied if they don't walk out with some type of prescription. So we as Americans are in a microwave quick society. We want things quick. We want now. And that's not how our bodies are designed to heal. Our healthcare system does not allow nurse practitioners and physicians and physician assistants the time to sit in an office and get to the root cause of disease and illness and to help people. We are herding in patients like cattle. We have to see, so many patients per hour. So when's the last time, if you think about it, the last time that you actually went to your doctor's office and someone sat down with you, as far as your healthcare provider, not just your medical assistant or, whoever worked you up, but gave you nutrition counseling and diet counseling and supplementation counseling. I mean, these things are so important. And I'm not saying, okay, let's all burn our bras and throw all of our prescriptions out of the window. That's not what I'm saying. I do believe that prescriptions work, absolutely needed. I have many patients every day that their lives are dependent upon the medications that they take, but we have become too dependent on these prescriptions. We are not depending enough on what God has placed in the earth. Natural supplements, natural the alternative things. Plexus has changed my appetite. Now I actually crave what God wants me to eat, which is fruits and vegetables. I want a salad over fries or donuts or any of those things. I want water over sweet tea. So Plexus has helped me do that. And I've actually lost weight. I usually say that at the end of my testimony because the weight loss is, I guess, insignificant in comparison to actually getting my life back and for my children to get their mother back. So I guess, this really is for many of the skeptics who think that we're out here just to make money. This is not about, making money for me. This is about changing lives. I mean, I have spent my entire life wanting to help change lives, and I never thought that Plexus would be one of those ways that I was able to actually change people's lives, to have freedom, like Kim mentioned, to have freedom from being tied to prescriptions. All of these meds, wake up in the morning, a med to, use the bathroom, a med to go to sleep at night, a medicine to be happy, a medicine to actually help me to have feelings again, a medicine for my skin, all that stuff. I'm completely prescription free. And I don't, say, of course, Plexus does not claim to, treat any type of disease. I'm not saying that I've been cured of any condition, but I will absolutely tell you that my life has been forever changed because of these products. And even if I don't lose a single pound more, I will continue to take Plexus every day so my children can have their mom, so I can be a great worker, and I will continue to share these products because we aren't focusing on our health as much as we are the end result. And it all starts with how we are functioning on the inside. It all starts with that's what we should be focused on versus synthetic drugs and a quick fix. It all starts from, gut health, and I'm so thankful that I gave it a try. I just decided if it's not going to hurt me, why not try? It's a lot better than being dependent on medications to live my life every single day. So I'm thankful that you listened to me babble on about my health, and now I will introduce our next expert, Miranda Ketz. She is an RN in Waco, Texas.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Oh my gosh, I so identify with your testimony and what you shared. So thank you so much for that. But I'm so honored to share with you all tonight. Like Jennifer said, my name is Miranda Ketz, and I'm a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I've worked as a registered nurse for 11 years now in so many different fields, including ICU, cardiology, surgery, recovery room, and now my current role is a case manager / personal health nurse. And so I thought I knew a lot about health and wellness until my sister became a holistic health coach, just like Kim, and taught me a ton about things I'd never learned before. I fought it for a long time because as a nurse, you really kind of think you know best, but as nurses, we are not taught hardly anything about nutrition and supplements. We have a very medication-oriented frame of mind, and treating things naturally was just not on my radar whatsoever. Just like Jennifer was just talking about, that's just not what we're trained to do. But thanks to my sister's persistence, that all changed for me. So I had struggled with my health for a long, long time. I had gained 20 pounds of extra weight over the last several years after losing it all with the birth of my son. That might not sound like a lot to some, but for me, on my small 5'3" frame, it felt like a ton. I wasn't happy getting dressed or going shopping, and that should be the thing a girl loves to do the most. I was a chronic allergy and sinus infection sufferer. I would require multiple steroid injections and antibiotics each year, and that had been going on since I was a teenager. I had no energy, none. By 2 o'clock each afternoon, I felt like lying in bed and not getting up until the next day. I was a chronic Advil user, and I know that's a terrible thing for a nurse to admit, but it is completely true. I used it on a daily basis for chronic aches, pains, and just general malaise. I was also 100% addicted to sugar. So I loved cereal, bread, pasta, tortillas, chips, you name it. If it was a carb, I was going to eat it. I could never stick to a healthy regimen because my sugar cravings would override my willpower and I would cave. So that was me prior to Plexus. So my sister became Plexus crazy after trying the pink drink, and I thought she literally lost her mind. I couldn't imagine that there could ever be some magical drink out there that you would take and actually make you feel well and be all natural and plant-based. I just knew she was being scammed, and I was honestly worried about her, like literally. So she fell in love with the pink drink so much that she ordered several other Plexus products, and I remember telling my husband that she'd gone crazy and fallen for this Plexus nonsense. But like I said, my sister was persistent and she would not give up on me. She had taught me a lot about gut health, and I knew that I could at least benefit from a probiotic. So I thought, why not get the one Plexus offers, and I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll help heal my gut, and my sister will finally shut up about this ridiculous Plexus stuff, right? But what happened next was completely unexpected. So she and I were on a walk together one morning, and it occurred to me that I couldn't remember the last time I'd gone to the medicine cabinet to get a dose of Advil. It had been 2 weeks, and this was life-changing for me because, like I said, I took it every single day. At that point, I had even lost a couple of pounds. I was sleeping better, and I wasn't having severe allergies anymore. So I thought, let me try some of that pink drink you've been talking about and see what it does. And so she gave me a 3-day sample. I was honestly not expecting very much to happen, but again, what happened next was crazy. I didn't crave sugar. It was a miracle. Even my spouse noticed. And that is when I decided to go all in and become an ambassador because I knew I just couldn't live without these products in my life anymore. So to date, I have lost all of those 20 unwanted pounds and have kept it off for over 8 months, y'all. Like, I've stayed consistent for 8 months. It hasn't changed. It's amazing. I have energy all day long to do my job and take care of my 3 kids. Since I first started Plexus, which was 16 months ago, I have not one time required a steroid or an antibiotic for allergy flare-ups or sinus infections. Not once. That is so huge for me. Because like I said, I was there at least 2 or 3 times a year since I was a teenager going through that same routine. Very miserable. We live in Texas. We understand what allergies are like, people who live in Texas. It's nonstop. It's year-round. I've also been able to drink a green smoothie for breakfast every single day. I don't even buy cereal anymore. So Plexus has also done incredible things for my family. My son developed asthma a few years ago, which I believe was caused by poor gut health. He had taken so many antibiotics his first few years of life due to chronic ear infections, which did a number on his gut. So he was completely dependent on his daily inhaled steroid. I had tried to wean him off many, many times because I know how bad steroids are for the body. But after a couple of days of trying to wean him down, he would be a mess. Wheezing, coughing, all of it. My sister suggested that I try to give him the ProBio and X Factor and see if it would help. So I did this consistently for an entire month, and I took him off his steroid cold turkey, and guess what happened? Nothing. He was completely fine, and that was 14 months ago. In the last 14 months, he's only required his steroid twice, and that was only for a few days. What a blessing for my sweet son. My spouse was already a health nut, and he's a nurse like me, and he was just as skeptical, if not even more skeptical. But he couldn't deny the changes he was seeing in me. He was always very disciplined with his exercise and diet, but he could never keep his cholesterol in the normal range. He didn't require any medication, but he was always kind of on that borderline when he would go for his yearly checkups. So this was his motivation for starting Plexus. He didn't ever want to get on medication, so he thought, well, let me just see what this does. He completed his year with Plexus last November, and for the first time in our 9-year marriage, he had normal cholesterol values. He's also lost 10 additional pounds, which I didn't even think was possible because I thought he looked incredible. But he's also gained so much muscle. He's an ambassador as well, and he's such an amazing support for me. So as you can see, guys, Plexus has completely changed my life and that of my family. It's become my mission to share these products with others because the world needs to feel better. We are sick as a nation, and the time is now. I only wish I could have started Plexus sooner and listened to my sister quicker. So that's all I have for y'all. And so now I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Kimberly Stevenson, who's also a registered nurse, and she's in the Dallas area.
Wow, what an amazing Pleximony, Miranda. That was really good. Thank you so much for sharing. Like Miranda said, my name is Kimberly Stevenson. I am a registered nurse here in the Dallas area, and I'm also a silver ambassador with Plexus worldwide. I'm so excited that you guys have joined us tonight, and I'm even more excited to let you know about my Plexus story. I started taking Plexus about 1 year ago. Like Miranda, my sister became an ambassador and insisted that I tried the product. I had heard of Plexus before and even tasted the pink drink, but I was a huge skeptic. Like the lady said before, with my nursing background, I'm pretty much programmed to believe and to think that natural holistic ways really aren't the way, but prescription medications or what people need to cure their bodies. But after looking over the ingredients and the continued insistence on my sister, I thought I'd give the products a try. So, and I did want to lose some holiday weight, so I thought, what the heck. I ordered a 7-day trial of the Pink Drink and Accelerator Plus. My expectations weren't too high. Like I said, I really wanted to help my sister. But as soon as I started taking the product, my energy increased. And it wasn't like a cracked out, jittery feeling, but more of a natural just rise in my energy level, feeling like I could do a little bit more each day. My mood had increased. I felt so much better. And I lost 8 pounds that week, which was crazy. I've tried many diets before, tried to lose weight many times before, and I had never had such great success when starting a new regimen. And I thought, well, maybe there is something to this. So that first week, I joined my sister's team, became an ambassador because I wanted to get my products the cheapest at wholesale, and I ordered the triplex. After taking triplex consistently for, I guess, about a month, I knew that Plexus was more than just about weight loss. Weight loss was just a side effect. I was feeling great, and issues that I had struggled with in the past became non-issues, like my acne. I had suffered from acne since I was 12 or 13 years old, and this is the cystic, deep acne, that I would have breakouts with. And once I was on the product, I stopped having breakouts, and my skin began to clear up. I hadn't seen me with clear skin, so I was completely amazed and taken aback. I was very happy. I also suffered from chronic pain. I, like Miranda, took ibuprofen or Motrin on a pretty consistent basis. But for me, there was a trade-off. My pain would be relieved, but the Motrin and ibuprofen would make me sick to my stomach, literally make me nauseous and make my stomach ache. When I started taking Plexus Ease, which is a natural anti-inflammatory, it was bonus. I didn't get sick, and my pain was relieved. NSAIDs, or anti-inflammatories, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, are not good for your kidneys. So taking Ease was a win-win for me. I was completely excited. Plexus has also been a huge blessing for my entire family. My sister no longer takes a high blood pressure medication. Hypertension or high blood pressure runs in our family. With the help of her doctor, she was able to completely be off of her blood pressure medication. And here I think that she hasn't had to take any blood pressure medication after starting on that is on several blood pressure medications to even with those medications, he would still have hypertensive crisis, where his blood pressure would fly hospital to take more powerful drugs to get his blood pressure back down. But since being on Plexus Slim, his blood pressure has been well controlled, and he hasn't had those spikes anymore. As a healthcare professional, I'm Plexus. To know there's a natural alternative to medication that have so many bad side effects is huge. I know that medications have their place for some people, but to know that there is a natural alternative that we can take or try to help get at the root of the cause is huge. To me, the best part of being on this Plexus journey is being part of a community so committed to the holistic approach to health and wellness. The wealth of knowledge that I've learned over the past year has only added to the longevity of my family, and I am forever grateful for the things that I am learning. To be associated with a company whose mission is to heal using the resources from the earth is truly a blessing. And these are all reasons that I am definitely a Plexi lifer.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You guys, as you can see, we're very passionate about this. I want to thank Kim, Jennifer, Miranda, and Kimberly for taking the time out of their very busy schedules. We wanted to do this because we wanted people to realize that there is a better way. These are folks who are trained in the healthcare industry, and they know their stuff, and they're standing by these products. And so we thought that that was very powerful to put them all together. Now, as you heard Jennifer say, we do have a disclaimer with this company, is that Plexus does not, say that it's going to cure, treat, or diagnose any disease. But I will tell you that you can hear from our testimonies that this is real and it does work. And one other thing I just want to also say is that there's many people on all of our teams who have improved blood work, and you cannot placebo blood work. So if anyone is skeptical, if you get routine blood work, I would love for you to try our products and then go back to the doctor for your checkup and get some more blood work done and see what happens. You will be amazed. I've seen it happen in my own family. Before we let you go this evening, one thing we all want to touch upon as well is this amazing business opportunity. No, we are not in this to make money. We truly believe in these products, but a lot of times it's not what ails you with your body that keeps you up at night. It's those bills that you have to pay that sometimes have you tossing and turning. And I have to tell you, Plexus is a twofer. Not only will it help you get healthy from the inside out, but it will improve your bottom line. If you are willing to just share these amazing products, and that's what we do, we share, we do not sell. We just tell them about these amazing products, then you could potentially make some money that is life-changing. We get paid up to 11 different ways, up to 5 times a month. You all, we have a compensation plan that is like no other on top of these amazing products. So it's really something that could give you an extra $200, $300, maybe $1,000 a month. Maybe you want to retire. Maybe you want to retire your spouse. These are all things that are possible with Plexus. I can tell you that as a successful journalist who was at the top of my game, I thought that I had arrived, but I just wasn't dreaming big enough, and that is the truth. I am now meeting men and women who are making life-changing money that is not only impacting their lives, but that's going to impact their families for generations to come. Generational wealth. I mean, it's just huge what you are able to do when the sky is the limit, when you have unlimited earning potential. One of the great things about this opportunity, instead of just like helping everyone you know and love, which is obviously amazing, is that you can make residual income. And residual income is that kind of money that just keeps on coming. Maybe you did the work last month, but you're still getting paid this month and months to come and years to come. A lot of people now, even if they're a doctor or a lawyer, they're still trading their time for dollars. We don't do that in this wonderful opportunity. So I want to encourage you to get with the person who invited you to this webinar. Trust me, they are giving you a gift. So just go back and circle back with them and ask them about, you know, what they think about this opportunity and how it could possibly change either your health, your wealth, or both. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone that's on this webinar tonight for taking the time to listen to our stories. Good night.